Hey, it's Cobra here at MaddenGuides.com, and for this Madden 22 Top 5 list, we're going to take a look at the 46 Bear Safety Fire Blitz Setup. So we're going to take a look at our 5 favorite Blitz setups from this particular defense that can bring some pressure on a quarterback. And I will tell you this, when we start out at number 5, we're not going to get pressure as far as the running back stays in the pass block. But by the time we get to the number 1 breakdown, as far as our number 1 setup, we can get pressure even if the running back stays in the pass block. So we're going to do kind of a progression as we go through this as far as bringing that pressure on the quarterback from this particular defense. So what I want to do right now is I want to go ahead and get into the subs that I'm going to make with this, and then I want to talk about a couple other things before we get to the top 5 list. And I also want to point out this is going to be a pretty lengthy video because I go in pretty in depth with each one of the breakdowns as far as with the setups as far as they're concerned. So hopefully you guys can kick back and enjoy this and see how this is going to work as far as bringing the pressure on a quarterback. All right, we're going to take a look at the subs that I like to make with the Dallas Cowboys. Now keep in mind, this is my recommendations or what I like to do with the Cowboys. Now, whatever team you play with, you might have a little bit of a different philosophy or whatever, or some different types of personnel that you might not want to do what I'm doing here. I'm just going to give you my recommendations. And a lot of my recommendations are based on speed and the finesse pass rush rating. Those are the 2 things I'm looking for from this particular subs that I'm about to make here. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, the first thing I like to do is I like to go into the coaching and go right to the depth chart. And I can make my subs from here, but for this, I like to do a little bit more finesse or a little bit more micromanagement, if you will. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do my subs in the actual sub menu here as you look at on your screen here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sub out 2 players. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in because I want to show you 2 of the players that we're going to sub right off the bat with. And I'm going to go ahead and show those to you as we look at the screen here. Let's get off that and go into the actual zoom in here. All right, so from this particular formation, from the 46 Bear, it's this linebacker here and this linebacker here. Now, Parsons is my fastest linebacker. He's a 92 speed. I need to get him to the inside at the left outside linebacker to put him in the position that I need him to when he's going to blitz, because I need some pressure coming off that edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sub him out. So what we're going to do is we're going to sub him out. Anybody, doesn't matter who I sub him with right now, because I'm going to put Nil back in his spot. So I'm just flip-flopping Nil and him. So here's Parsons, he's going there. And then I'm going to go back to Nil here and get him in there. So basically Parsons is now the left outside linebacker, and then Nil is the right outside linebacker. And then Vanderdesh, he's my middle linebacker. Let's go back and zoom in here so you guys can just see this. Let's go back and zoom in here. And then you can see, so there's Parsons, there's Nil, and there's Vanderdesh. Those are your 3 linebackers from this particular formation. Now, you guys are probably wondering, why did you just package those in? Well, I can't, because we do not have the outside linebacker swap here from this particular formation. Now, I'm going to go back in here and zoom in again because I want to show you guys this. And with this one, I've got 2 defenders I need to switch around to. So this is going to be Gregory and this is going to be Lawrence. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the package swap and the defensive end swap, which you can do here. And that's going to be right here as you're looking at your screen. I'm not going to zoom in on that, but it's right there as you look at. So make sure you do the D swap. Now, at this point, I could go with what I want, but I'm going to make a couple other subs here. Now, one of the things I did with Lawrence, the reason I put Lawrence at the right end position is that he has the highest pass finesse rush rating that I have in the game. I'm going to need him for one of the blitzes that I run where I manually rush him off the edge. And if you guys have seen the right end manual pass rush, this is a good example of why I do that. So that's why Lawrence is lined up at the right end position. Now, as far as the substitutions go, I've got 2 more to make. Now, these are up to you. These are really, really up to you. But there's one particular setup that's going to need a fast defender at the strong side defensive tackle position. So let's go do that. So what I'm going to do here is, first one here, I'm going to switch it out. This is the weak side defensive tackle. Bosham is actually pretty fast. I believe he's an 82 speed. So again, I'm looking at speed on my defensive line. Now, you may not want to do this. You may want to have 2 stronger defensive tackles in there, and that's fine to help stop the run. Me, I'm going to do this. If they start running the ball on me, then I'll switch things back out again. But for now, I'm going with this setup here. Now, this is where I need a fast guy at. And I don't remember exactly what Kamara's speed is, but I know it's pretty fast. It's like 87, I believe, 85, 87, something like that. Even though he looks like crap as far as his rating, it's only a 52, he's fast. And so I'm going to move him into that spot. All right, so he's there right now at the strong side defensive tackle, and you're going to see that in the number 3 setup that I do for the 46 Bear safety fire, where I can use his speed to help me get some pressure on the quarterback. And you're going to see that later on in the video breakdown, so make sure you guys stick around for that one. That's pretty an interesting setup that I've got where I use him to get some pressure on the quarterback. All right, so that's it for the subs. Now, what I want to do is, last thing I want to point out here is that I'm not going to do too much of a breakdown here on this, but I do want to mention this to you guys. For you guys who are fast on the controllers and can get things really, really quick, then one of the things that you could do is you could go into the 46 normal and use the speed package, which is right here, especially if you don't have really good linebackers, but you got some fast defensive backs. And then you could you could come out in basically any play out of the 46 normal with the speed package, and then audible into the 46 Bear safety fire. And that's going to give you some fast defensive backs. However, the downside of that is they don't always sack the quarterback. As you know, sometimes they'll hit them and they'll bounce off. But I do want to point that out to you guys, because you guys can do that if you so choose. The only downside of doing that, outside of what I just told you about them bouncing off, it does take a little more time to get the setup, because you got to go from the 46 normal audible into the 46 Bear and then do the adjustments. So that's really up to you if you want to go with that. But I just want to point that out to you. And it's kind of some other things you can do in here is, I didn't do it in this breakdown, but you can also have put 4 linebackers out there. You can put, for example, one example might have been I could have put Parsons at the right end position here if I had chose and used him. But I didn't do that because I feel like Lawrence is a little bit better. But you could have had something like, for example, you could have had maybe a 3-3-5 or something like that, or you could have like a 4-2-5 defense. So if you use the speed package and audible into this, so there's some different things you can do, some different combinations. And I think in another video breakdown, I may go into the 46 Bear and do a 46 Bear formation breakdown and show you some of that type of stuff that we can do. But for now, let's just not get too much into that. I just want to mention that to you. All right, what I do need to do is get back into this formation, into the 46 Bear. So again, we got the D swap on, made all my subs. So let's go ahead, and without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get into these top 5 blitz setups from the 46 Bear safety fire. These are our 5 favorite blitz setups from this particular defense. Enjoy.
5.
Our number 5 favorite blitz setup from the 46 Bear safety fire is one where we're going to look to get pressure from the left outside linebacker off the edge, where he's lined up right here as you look at your screen. So he's going to bring some edge pressure here from the right side of the offensive line. And then we want to go ahead and get some A-gap pressure from the safety here as you look at your screen. This is the one that I'm in control of, and I'm going to show you how to do that, and it's pretty simple. So what you need to do is go ahead and take control of him and bring him down into the A-gap into this area here. And then he's going to be between the center and the left guard as you look at your screen there. And then you want to go ahead and put him in QB spy. Now, what's going to happen here is we're going to see this edge pressure, as I've already mentioned, it's going to come off of here, and it's going to get that pressure coming from that left outside linebacker. Now, the other thing that's going to happen is I've already kind of talked about the center and the left guard. The left guard is going to look to block in this direction here. And then the center is going to look to block the strong side defensive tackle lined up right across from him. When this happens, and once this guy, again, once this left outside linebacker gets through the A-gap, or not A-gap, gets across the line of scrimmage from where he's blitzing, then we want to go ahead and manually rush this linebacker right here and bring him through the A-gap and apply the pressure on the quarterback. And that's what we're looking to do here with this particular setup. Now, the other thing you can do with this is, if you want, you can go ahead and call base align, and you can also go ahead and call press coverage. That's up to you. Just keep in mind, if you call press coverage in the safety fire, and this is going to be throughout the breakdowns, that as you look at it here, I'm going to go ahead and actually make this, you're not going to have anybody, as far as safeties, playing deep zone or anything like that. So that's a downside of this. So if they've got some beaters, then you're going to be in some trouble with this. So you kind of mix this in with some other defenses where you set it up very similar. We'll talk about that in one of the in the breakdowns maybe a little bit later here. But at any rate, that's what you got to do with this if you're going to run this. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the setup here. Actually showed you the setup. I'm going to go ahead and run this, and you guys will see the pressure coming through from the outside and through the A-gap here. And right there, we're going to get that pressure coming right up the gut and from the outside. So this one is certainly a defense that can definitely bring some pressure. Now I want to go ahead and audible into another play. Here we're going to run the bunch trail. Now this one has the running back doing delayed swing route. So this time he's just running a delayed swing route. And I'm going to go ahead and run it the same setup. So I want to show you what happens when he, rather than automatically running the pass route, now he's running the delayed. Let's see what happens with it this time. So we're going to do the same setup, bring him down into this area here. Go ahead and put him in QB spy. We'll go ahead and call the baseline. Again, that's optional, and press coverage, up to you to do that. And then we're going to go ahead and snap it. And then we're going to look to get inside there. So with this one, we may not always get that edge pressure coming off of that. And that's one of the things I wanted to show here. This is why this is ranked number 5, because it's really, if they run something such as what I just showed here, let's do verticals this time. This is the verticals play. Same thing. We still got a running back running an option route. And this time, a delayed option route. Let's go ahead and do the same setup here and see what happens here. We'll go ahead and call base align and call press coverage again. And then we'll go ahead and run it. See, again, we get blocked. Someone eventually gets through, but it's not clean. It's not clean like the other ones were. So keep that in mind. So as you can imagine, let's go ahead and run one more play here. Let's go ahead and run the flanker drive. Now, the flanker drive doesn't have the running back going out at all. And you can probably imagine this probably isn't going to work very well, as you can see on your screen. But let's go ahead and do it anyways. Like I said, I kind of wanted to do this so you guys can see how these blitzes work, depending on if the running back stays in the pass block or not. So same setup. Again, we got him lined up there. And then we're just going to try to get through. This time the running back picks me up and I don't get any pressure. So as you can see, that's why this one's number 5, because it does work. However, it can be blocked, as you can see on your screen. So this is the number 5 setup for the 46 Bear safety fire that we like to set up when running this particular defense.
4.
Our number 4 blitz setup from the 46 Bear safety fire that we like to run is one that's going to bring pressure again from the same linebacker, and it's going to be from the left outside linebacker right here is lined up here. Now this setup is pretty nice because it's definitely going to bring some pressure, and it does work if the running back runs a delayed route, and it works if the running back goes out on a route. So it works on those two. If the running back stays in the pass block, depending on the formation, against the gun bunch, it doesn't work, but certain other formations, it may work depending. So just keep that in mind. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to show you how to set this one up. So all we got to do with this one is we're going to go ahead and bring him up here. Now, if you remember in our number 5 setup, we didn't have any safety playing deep help. We didn't have anybody dropping back. Matter of fact, we were manually rushing him. On this one here, we're not going to have that. Instead, what we want to do with him is we want to go ahead and drop him back into some type of pass coverage. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put him in the, let's go ahead and put him in the inside quarter or inside third. Let's do inside thirds. This way it gives us a kind of a cover 1 defense. Now, if you wanted to, you have a couple different options. For example, maybe you could do this when he's coming down. I'll show you this once we do this route. You could do him in a curl flat. You could put him in a hook curl, something like that. You can do anything like that. Now, I want to show you something after I do this on our next time I go through this setup. But anyways, you could do this right there. And the other thing is you need to go ahead and crash the defensive line out. That's the last step there. Now, if you want to go ahead and again call base align and press coverage, that's up to you. We'll go ahead and do it for this breakdown for the sake of it. But just keep in mind, it's all up to you as far as optional, as far as what you want to do. All right, now, the key to this one is once the ball is snapped, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and focus in on this guy. So once the ball is snapped, once he crosses the line of scrimmage, then we're going to have 2 choices we can make. The first choice is we can go ahead and drop him back manually when we stay in control of him, and just, depending on what we want to do with him. In this case, we can just, watch the short middle of the field. Kind of what your opponent is doing. If your opponent is running a lot of quick passes over the middle, then maybe a short middle, then maybe you want to take those away. Now, the other option will be to let them just manually let the computer take control of them. Because what we're going to do is once the ball is snapped and once this guy gets across the line of scrimmage, that being the linebacker there, once he gets across the line of scrimmage, then we're going to switch off to him and then go after the quarterback. And so those are your 2 options with this setup I'm about to show. So let's go ahead and do the first one first. the first option where we just drop him back and kind of just look over the middle of the field here and just kind of, you know, look for stuff over here that we might try to defend. So that's the first option that we can do with that. Now, the second option is we can go ahead and release. I'm going to go ahead again and put him into a hook curl. Just kind of do that for this setup here, and then we'll talk about some other things you can do with this one. So this time we got him in a hook curl. Now, you'll notice on this one, this time I've got him going to the right side. And against the bunch formation, if you want to do this, then make sure, it depends on what side you are of the center. If you're on this side of the center, as you look at it, I'm going to go to this side, and then you put hook curl, you're going to notice it goes to the left. But if you're on the side of the center to the right, then he's going to be to that side, which would make some more sense. If you're going to manually release him, then you want him to the bunch side. That way he can defend the three bunch, be a little bit more in position to defend those three receivers on that side. Again, that's my choice. Now, if you're worried about maybe this receiver right here, maybe they hot routed him on a slant route, then maybe it would make more sense to move him over here and put him in a hook curl over here. This is all based on what you see your opponent doing during the game. So keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and call press coverage and go ahead and call base align. Then I'm going to go ahead and move him. For now, I'm going to go ahead and go to the other side with him and have him run the hook curl there. Okay, and then I need, once I do that, after I do that, now I need to put him back behind the weak side defense, excuse me, the strong side defensive tackle where he lines up across from the center. Now I'm going to go ahead and snap the ball here. And then I actually got blocked there, but usually he doesn't get blocked. Usually that's a clean release there. On that time he actually got blocked. So let's go ahead and bring him down again. Same thing. Go ahead and call the coverages here. We're going to go ahead and do the hook curl there, and then make sure we get him behind there as far as with this setup. So let's go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and call the crash the defensive line out. All right, here we go, guys. See if we get the pressure this time coming off the edge there. And then I'm going to switch off to him this time, and then I get that pressure. So that's what you can do here. Now let's go ahead and look at the instant replay here and take a look at that linebacker, or not linebacker, but the safety, the one that we released, and see what he does here. See how he kind of defends that? This is a good example here. If we go ahead and zoom in right here, you can see as you look at it, he's in decent position to defend that route right there. So that's one of the reasons from the bunch side that you might consider doing that. But, you know, another thing as you look, the only problem for us, if this guy would have been on a slant, which he isn't on this particular route or on this play, I don't believe, but he's right there. Quarterback could throw to him. Again, that's why you might want to put him on a hook zone over there. So that's really up to you. You got to, you know, when you're playing your opponent, you got to decide on what you want to do. Another thing you could do with him, let's go ahead and do the same setup one more time here. Go ahead and crash that defensive line out. Go ahead and call base align. This time I'm going to go ahead and just put him in a deep 1/3 and to the inside 1/3. You can see right there he's there. So now he's playing the deep middle. So I guess that's another option for the deep passes here. And then we're just going to come off the edge and apply some pressure on the quarterback. So that's another way of running that. Now, against some of these other plays out of the gun bunch, let's go ahead and just run another one. Let's run the verticals. So same setup. Go ahead and call the same thing we've been doing. We're going to go ahead and call press coverage there and call base align. And then with this one, I'm going to go ahead and put him into the inside third there. And then I'll keep in mind, I've got this in the gun bunch verticals as you look at your screen right there. So you can see right there, but we're still going to get that edge pressure. I promise you that. Let's go ahead and crash the defensive line out. And right there, there's a setup. And then we're going to get edge. Oh, yeah, I totally whiffed on that one. Wow. Woo, that was pretty bad. But anyway, sometimes you make a little mistake, but all part of the experience of doing these breakdowns for you guys. So let's go ahead and do the same thing again. Call base align. Let's go ahead and call base align here. And then we'll get it set up there. All right, so there we go with that. That was pretty bad on my part. You know, another thing you guys can do here, if you want to, you can call the deep halves. And then as long as you're to the right side, you can see now I got the deep pass right here as you look at it. Now he's dropping in this area to the bunch side, which is nice because now he'll kind of cheat a little bit more towards that side of the field. So that's another option. Let me go ahead and audible into the verticals. And right there, so there's the setup right there. Let's see what kind of pressure we get off that edge. There we go right there. So that's another way of running that as far as getting some pressure on a quarterback. So that's kind of a nice defense there. It can definitely bring some pressure. Now, let's go ahead and do one more setup here against the flanker drive. Now, the flanker drive, again, does not have the running back going out. So by default anyway. So let's go ahead and run it one more time here. Same setup. Call press coverage. And then we're going to bring him down. We're going to go ahead and cheat him. Well, let's just go ahead and do this time to the inside third. This setup gets you a little bit of versatility as far as what you want to do with this defender. That's nice about that. And that's one of the reasons I like this one. All right, there's the setup right there again. But this is with the running back staying in the pass block. And as you can see, we don't get any pressure. So again, with this particular defense, this is why this is the number 4 setup that we like. This is our 4th favorite setup from the 46 Bear safety fire.
3.
Our number 3 favorite blitz setup from the 46 Bear safety fire is one that's going to bring pressure, surprisingly, from this defender right here. And that's going to be the strong side defensive tackle. And I'm going to show you how to set this one up where he can get that A-gap pressure. And it can also still bring pressure coming from this guy right here, which again is going to be the left outside linebacker. He can bring some edge pressure. So you're going to get some edge pressure from the right side of the offensive line and some A-gap pressure from the strong side defensive tackle. So let's go ahead and show you how to set this one up. And what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and bring him down right behind the center. He's got to be right behind the center like that. Now, once you release him, that's fine. If he drops back just a smidget, that's fine, because the setup's still going to work. Go ahead and call press coverage if you so choose. And then I'm going to go ahead and slide this guy over. Now, this is the strong side defensive tackle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put him into QB spy. So you can see there's the setup right there. Now, if you want, you can go ahead and call base align. If you do that, then you got to go back into bump and run. But at any rate, the one thing I want to tell you is do not call base align until after you move that strong side defensive tackle over. Otherwise, he's not going to get over quite as far as what you see on your screen. He's not going to get into this position right here. And I'll show that to you in just a second once we go through another setup of this. But at any rate, that's the setup. And what you're looking for with this one is wait to see this center. The center right here, as you look at it, he's got to engage this guy right here. Once he engages him, which he will within a split second after the ball snap, then you can manually rush this linebacker through the A-gap and apply the pressure. And as I said, you may end up seeing some pressure coming from this linebacker as well with this off the edge. So let's go ahead and run this. Now keep in mind, this is with everybody going out. And right there, you're going to get that pressure. Like I said, you may not always get that pressure from the left outside linebacker, but what you will get is some A-gap pressure coming from this guy right here. Now, this time I'm going to go ahead and set this over here, and I'm going to go ahead and move him in. And again, we'll do the same setup here. And then I'm going to go ahead and just call press coverage this time. And then you see right there. And then you just come through there. And that time I got blocked, but this time I got the edge pressure. I kind of went a little bit too early on that one with the tackle. But you can see with this setup, you can definitely get some pressure coming from one or the other. A lot of times, like I said, it's going to come from this guy. I just went too early with that one. So let me set this up, and then you just come off the edge. And a lot of times you may or may not get blocked. And if you get blocked, that's fine, because like I said, you're still going to get the edge pressure. So it doesn't hurt anything as far as the setup. Let's go ahead and do it again. Same setup here. And then you're just going to come through there, and there we go. Again, we got the 2 out of 4 times I got the A and C gap pressure right there. So that's really it on this setup here. Now, what I was talking about earlier as far as the base align, if you call base align, let's go ahead and do this, then you're not going to be able to scoot this guy over. See, I'm trying to scoot him over. I can't really scoot him over all that much. That's fine if you want. If you call that, you can still go ahead and put him in QB spot. If you call base align, just know he's not going to get quite as far over, but you can still get the A-gap pressure. Okay, you still get the A-gap pressure coming from the nose tackle. Now let's go ahead and go to another play. We're going to do verticals this time, so the running back will go out on the delayed route there, on the option route. So let's go ahead and do the same thing here. Go ahead and run him down. Go ahead and call press coverage, and then we're just going to go with this, and then put him in QB spy. Let's see what happens this time with the running back. And so we get the pressure here coming off that. Now, the other thing is you got to keep in mind, if you have X factors on the defensive lineman, or you have X factors at the linebacker spot. So if you got X factors here, guys, make sure you have them set up on the outsides here. For example, unfortunately, I was hoping that Parsons was going to get an X factor rating. He didn't get one, but say he was an X factor, you definitely want him there. And maybe if you got maybe you got an X factor defensive end, then you want to put him right there. So just keep that in mind with these setups I'm showing. That's something else you want to consider when you do this. So let's go ahead and do this one more time. We're going to go ahead and bring him up here. And then we're going to slide him over. And then we're going to go ahead and have the running back staying in the pass block this time. So we're going to run the flanker drive. This time the running back will stay in the pass block and see what kind of results we get here. All right, and we still got pressure there with the running back. That's with the running back staying in the pass block. Again, that's not always a guaranteed, but it depends on the formation. And with the bunch, apparently, you know, you might get that. Not all the time you're going to get that, so just keep that in mind. Same thing here. We're going to go ahead and put him in QB spy. Go ahead and call press coverage there. Let's just go ahead and let you guys see the running back staying in the pass block. You can see he's staying in there as you look at it. So let's go ahead and run the same thing again. And then that time we actually got blocked, unfortunately. So, like I said, there's no guarantee that that these are going to work out every single time with the running back staying in the pass block. Let's go ahead and do this one again. Bring him down in here. Call press coverage, slide him over. And we'll just wait a split second here. And then once we see that, then we'll try to come in there. If you get blocked, you get blocked. But just keep that in mind. That's with the running back staying in the pass block. So it's no guarantees. That, and again, this is why this is number 3, because of the running back. If he stays in the pass block, then you don't always get the same results. Let's go ahead and move him over there. This time I'm going to leave him right across from the center this time, and this is with the running back staying in the pass block. All right, and then if one of those guys, once that running back does commit and blocks, then once one of those other guys get free, that's why I was talking about the X factors earlier, that can make a difference. So again, this setup here is the number 3 setup that we like from the 46 Bear safety fire. It definitely brings some pressure on the quarterback. It's kind of a surprising one because you may get some pressure coming from this this nose tackle, or not nose tackle, but the strong side defensive tackle, the one I'm in control of right there. And then you can just go ahead and shoot through those gaps and apply pressure. And here we got the C and the A gap. So real easy setup. Definitely going to bring pressure. If everybody goes out, it's going to bring pressure. If it's a running back running an option route, definitely going to bring pressure against those 2 situations. If the running back stays in the pass block, no guarantee. All right. So guys, that's the number 3 setup for the 46 Bear safety fire.
2.
Our number 2 favorite blitz setup from the 46 Bear safety fire is one that's actually going to bring pressure regardless if the running back stays in the pass block or not in most cases. Now again, keep in mind this is against the gun bunch formation. It could depend on the formation as well, but against the gun bunch formation, this will bring pressure even if the running back stays in the pass block. So let's go ahead and take a look at this setup. And with this particular defense, as far as what the setup is concerned, it's going to be kind of the same theme that I've been showing throughout the top 5 breakdowns of the 46 Bear safety fire. As far as bringing pressure, it's going to come from this linebacker right here, where he shoots and gets some pressure from the edge right here pretty consistently. Now, if you've not already done this, and I'm sure you have, make sure you guys have your best linebacker, fastest linebacker over there. If you got an X factor, certainly put him in that position. Now, with the setup here, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and this guy right here, this is the safety. Again, this is one of the kind of the same thing that I've been doing, bringing up these safeties, the safety, and bringing them up into one of these gaps or lining them behind the center. This is no exception. Now, this one against the gun bunch formation and the gun bunch weak, such as where the running back, as you look at your screen, you'll notice the running back's lined up over here. And then with this setup, I prefer to have him lined up to the opposite side, to the opposite A gap. So in this case, the A gap is going to be between the center and the right guard there. So that's where I want to put him at. And then I need to go ahead and put him in the QB spy. Then I want to crash the defensive line out. Now, I prefer to go ahead and go QB contain with this one. And that's going to go ahead and put the defensive end here and then this linebacker in QB contain. Now, that's optional. I like to do that with this setup. And then I'm going to go ahead and call press coverage. As you can see, I didn't do baseline. If you want to do baseline again, as I've said throughout these breakdowns, at least at the top 5 breakdowns for the 46 Bear safety fire, that's optional. So at this point, this is what you want to do with this setup. Once the ball is snapped, as I said, you're going to get edge pressure coming over here. And then with this defender here, the one that we're in control of, we're going to manually rush him. So we're going to go this direction, but we got to wait a split second. We don't want to get too crazy right here. We want to manually get him going, and then we're going to come into this area here and apply pressure. So we want to wait a split second. So let's just go ahead and run this. And now this is with the running back going out at this point. So the running back is running a route here as you look at this. And then we'll go throughout, like I've been doing the rest of these setups, showing you guys how it works against the option running back. And then I'll show you where he stays in the pass block. So let's go ahead and run this. And here we're going to get some pressure coming off the from the out. Actually didn't get it from the linebacker, but we got it from another guy right there. Actually got it from the defensive end. But that's the setup in a nutshell. So let's go ahead and do the same thing again. Go ahead and call, go ahead and spread the defensive, go ahead and crash the defensive line out. Go ahead and call QB contain. Go ahead and bring this guy into the A gap. And then we'll go ahead and run this and see what happens this time. And there we got the edge pressure, and then we got the up the gut pressure right there. So that's what you're looking for with this setup. And that's with the running back going out on a pass route. Let's go ahead and let's look at this real quick and take a look at this one. And you can see right there, there's the edge pressure coming off the edge right there as you look at it. And then you can see that I'm clearly manly in control of this guy here where I'm applying the pressure on the quarterback. So that's it right there as far as bringing the pressure on the quarterback with that setup when the running back stays in the pass block. All right, let's go into another play. We're going to run the bunch trail. This is with the running back running that delayed wheel route out towards the left as you look at it. We're going to get the same type of pressure. Again, we're going to go ahead and bring this guy down, call QB spy, go ahead and crash the defensive line out, call QB contain. It really doesn't matter so much in the order and all that. Outside of maybe just make sure you crash the defensive line out before you do QB contain. But as far as QB spy, you can do it in before or after. As far as the QB spy and the press coverage, if you still choose to do press coverage. And also if we decide to do baseline, obviously you got to call baseline first, and then you can go ahead and call press coverage if you don't have baseline on by default. All right, so there it is right there. Again, this is with the running back running an option route or delayed route. And then we still try to get in and get pressure on the quarterback. That time he actually almost blocked me. I was able to get by him, but that's generally how that one would work. Let's go ahead and do the same thing again with this setup. Go ahead and crash the defensive line out and go ahead and call QB contain if you so choose. And then go ahead and put this guy into QB spy. Let's go ahead and run the verticals play this time. This is again with the running back running an option route. Let's go ahead and run this. And then we can come off the edge there. We can apply the pressure on the quarterback. So that's another way of doing it. We still got it even with the running back doing that same thing. Let's run it one more time. Let's go back into the bunch trail. Same thing. And there is the setup right there as you look at it. And we're going to go ahead and put this guy in here. So there it is. Same setup. This time this is the trail with the running back running that delayed swing route to the left. Let's go ahead and run this and see what happens this time with it. And that time I just got caught up. I think I still could have got in there, although we still got the pressure from the outside as you look. And as you look at this one, this actually I believe came from either the defensive end or the tackle right there. So he comes around, and then this guy, as you look at it, picks me up. But then when that happens, then it allows this end or this tackle to get pressure off the edge. Now, earlier in the video breakdown, before we got into the top 5, I actually showed you how to do the subs I like to do with the Cowboys. You know, I like to have the faster I have the defensive lineman, the better I feel. So just keep that in mind as you're, trying to set these up. That's your choice. I just prefer to have the faster guys in. Obviously, if they're going to run the ball, I'm going to have a little bit of issues with it. All right, let's run this one more time against that trail play, and then we're going to run it with the running back staying in the pass block. So there we go right there. And then we're going to see if we can get some pressure coming up the edge. Oh, and there it is right there. So that's it right there, guys, as far as bringing some pressure on the quarterback. So there's another setup. That one can do it as far as with the running back going out, the running back on an option route, or let's go ahead and do the final one here, as I promised, the flanker drive. This is going to have the running back staying in the pass block, as you can see. So what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to go ahead and call press coverage. And then we're going to go ahead and bring him down into the A gap. Go ahead and crash the defensive line out. Let me go ahead and back down here. Go ahead and call QB contain. And then we're going to look to get pressure off the edge. And you can see right there, we got the pressure off the edge. So that's our number 2 blitz setup from the 46 Bear safety fire.
1.
Before we get to our number 1 blitz setup from the 46 Bear safety fire, I want to mention, guys, if you guys are enjoying this video, and you must be enjoying this video if you've gotten this far, because it's a pretty long video, then go ahead and hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. And if you guys do like the way I'm doing this particular video breakdown, because I'm trying to do something a little bit different with these top 5 lists, I hope that you guys are enjoying this. Post a comment. Let me know, hey, Cobra, I like what you're doing here. This is good stuff. This is what we want to see. Because if so, this is what I'm going to keep doing, this type of format. And I think this really gives you guys a chance to see how all these defenses work. And as you notice, I've done it pretty much against where the running back goes out, where the running back runs an option route, and where the running back stays in the pass block. That way you guys know what you're getting into when you run this. I'll also talk about some of the coverage issues that with this particular defense and the setups. So, you know, guys, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. That'll help me out a lot. I appreciate it if you guys do that. All right, with that said, let's get to the #1 setup from the 46 Bear safety fire. And with this one, this is by far my favorite one of them all because I can get some double-edged pressure even if the running back stays in the pass block, and that's why it's #1. So let's go ahead and get right into it. And the setup's pretty similar to some of the other setups I've been showing. We're going to go ahead and bring this safety down, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put him behind the strong side defensive tackle. As you look at your screen right there. So here's the strong side defensive tackle is lined head up over the center. At that point, you can go ahead and release him. Now, at this point, you're going to switch over to this defensive end. This is going to be your right end. Again, I mentioned this before. If you've got an X factor, you really don't have to do that with this one. If you want to put him there, that's fine because you're going to manually pass rush him. That's just going to help you out even that much more. Definitely want to have a pass rusher here that has a high pass rush finesse rating as far as getting around the tackle that's going to block. In this case, it's going to be the left tackle. So you want to definitely have your top pass rusher on the defensive line right there with the highest finesse pass rush rating that you've got. So make sure he's there. And then the other option you want to make sure, and I've talked about this before, this same linebacker, this is Parsons, have your fastest linebacker. If he's an X factor, definitely have him over there because it's going to allow you to get edge pressure off that edge regardless of what happens. So you definitely want to do that as far as with this setup. All right, so what we're going to do with this one is we're going to go ahead and crash the defensive line out. We're going to go ahead and take control of this one, and I'm already in control of them as you see on your screen. And this gives you a chance for you manual pass rushers. It gives you a chance to show your stick skills as far as bringing pressure off the edge. So we're going to go ahead and put him into a hard flat. We are going to slide him in 1 notch. That's all you can do with him. You can only slide him in 1 notch because you don't want to pinch the defensive line. You just want to slide him in, and that's fine because it still works. Now, the only problem with this is he will take a little bit of a wider outside into this area here, but once he does, then you're going to manually pass rush him after the quarterback. And so you're going to get that pressure there coming off the edge. Now, that edge pressure right there from him is going to be a little bit slower than what you're going to find from this linebacker right here. This linebacker is going to get pretty quick pressure. So that's the setup right there. And it doesn't matter if the running back stays in the pass block, somebody's going to get in here. Either you're going to get in or that linebacker is going to get in. So let's go ahead and run this, and then I'll show you how it works here. So we're going to go out to the outside, and there's a double-edged pressure. And then you just saw Lawrence, he was able to use that shed block rating, and that's why you want to make sure you have your top pass rusher on that side. As you go in instant replay here, you can see I got blocked, but that's fine because that's the reason for this. So right there, you can see how this works out. We got the pressure coming off the edge right here from this linebacker. Bam, he's going to get the pressure. No problem there. Now, again, that's with the running back going out, and I've got myself right where I want because even if this guy tries to block me, I can use that shed block rating and get right past him and go after the quarterback. So there it is. Now, if your opponent thinks he's going to be sliding, he's going to try to take off and run this direction, sacked. If he goes to the other direction, probably going to get sacked. It don't matter. He's in deep trouble. That's if the running back goes out. All right, so that's that right there. Let's go into the next one where the running back is going to run a route. So let's go into the bunch trail. I'm going to go ahead and show you the play so you guys can see it. There's the bunch trail. The running back running that delayed route out towards the left, the swing route. So again, the same setup here. We're going to go ahead and crash the defensive line there out, as you see on your screen. And then we're going to go ahead and put this guy into the flat. And right there's the setup right there. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. It doesn't matter. Even though he does his thing, I still got around. He just kind of missed the quarterback. But you guys can see there clearly that we got the edge pressure. At least one guy got in. And that's why you always do it like this setup here, because you know you're going to get in regardless, even if they have that guy in there. Let's go ahead and do the same thing again with the we'll run the verticals this time and then move him in the same setup right here, guys. Same thing. And then you're going to come around and apply that pressure right there. Actually, I got blocked, but it doesn't matter. That time I got my other guy in. That's what I mean. It doesn't matter. Somebody's going to get in here pretty consistently regardless of what they do as far as on the on the offensive side of the ball. Again, let's run that vertical play. Let's go ahead and bring him down, crash the defensive line out, slide this guy in, put him in the flat. And then I'm going to come over here, and then I'm going to try to get around. Now, Lawrence is getting blocked, but a lot of times he'll get past him pretty good. You can even take a wider release if you need to with this one, as far as with this. So let's go one more time here. You can see right there, there it is. Switch off. I'm going to take a little wider release with Lawrence this time to make sure I get in there this time so you guys can see it. Well, that time I forgot that the running back was going out. Let's go ahead and run it one more time with the running back doing the delayed route. So let's go ahead and audible, go into the bunch trail. We're going to go ahead and do this with this. There's the setup. I do want to show one last thing, a couple other things here before we get out of this video breakdown. Anyways, there's a couple other things I wanted to point out that I forgot to point out throughout the top 5 list that I've shown here. So this is it right there. And then we're going to try to see if we can get around this end here. There it is right there. And I just took a little wider release, and I still was able to get in with the double-edged pressure as you look at your screen there. So that's it as far as with that, with the running back running the delayed route, and you can still get in regardless. There he goes right there. You can see right there clearly we got in. All right, let's go ahead with the running back staying in the pass block. Now, I want to show you guys something else. This is something that's been going on throughout the breakdowns that I've shown, and I didn't really talk about it, but this is a good time to go ahead and mention it to you with the running back staying in the pass block. So let's go ahead and do the setup here. And I'm going to show you this, and I'll show you with the running back staying in the pass block what's going to happen here. So we're going to go ahead and crash the defensive line out, and then we're going to go ahead and put this guy into the hard flat. I want you guys to see the running back. There he is right there. Now, I want to show you guys something with this one. There's the running back. You can clearly see that he's staying in the pass block, right? Well, here he is. He's lined up here, and this is the defender that's covering him. And this is the middle linebacker on your depth chart. Now, he's in man coverage on him. But if the running back stays in the pass block, then obviously he's not going to rush because he's a linebacker, or at least the middle linebacker. Sometimes in certain defenses where the left or the right outside linebackers in man coverage, he will rush the quarterback even if the running back stays in the pass block. In this case, that's not the case. But what he will do is he becomes a QB spy. So he'll be in this area here to take away possibly any short middle passes. Maybe if your opponent tries to throw a quick pass over the middle, he'll be there. And then also, if your quarterback or your opponent tries to take off the quarterback, he's going to be spying the quarterback. So that's nice to have. All right. With that said, let's go ahead and just run this. And I want you guys to go ahead and watch the setup, watch the play here. And then we still got the pressure on the quarterback. Now, granted, he had a little bit of time to throw it, but we still got that edge pressure. So that's it with the setups there, guys, as far as what these defenses go. So this is the #1 setup from the 46 Bear safety fire.
Hey Madden gamers, if you enjoy this Madden video or any other video, please subscribe to the Madden Guides YouTube channel. And as always, thanks for watching and for your support.